Let's do basic introduction by then, and then he can join. Does that work?
Okay, that's a key person joining.
Hi, everyone. You'll have to
Hi.
give us
Hey
about
everyone.
2 minutes for us to start talking. We're expecting one more leader from Symbol to join. Just give us 2 more minutes.
I'm so sorry for the.
Meanwhile, everyone, why don't you start writing hello to the leaders present here and introduce yourself on the chat. Hi, Ashutosh. The way we are structuring the day today for next 2 hours, we'll have a lot of leaders from various partner organizations coming and talking to you, sharing the project details, what are they expecting from you, how are they expecting, in what format, and then what's on offer for the selected externs. Some of the partner organizations would essentially be looking at this exercise to look at talent which can be potentially be absorbed. And I'm sure all the partner organizations would talk about that and share their thoughts on the way they look at the talent and the way they look at you as a prospective job force or job employees for them. Hi, Rishabh.
Hey, hi.
Okay, perfect. Let me do the quick introduction of the organization, and I'll leave the personal introduction to them individually. So I'll introduce our first project owners, project partners, our partner organization for GitHub Externship Winter Cohort of the Day. Symbol is an AI powered API first conversation intelligence platform for natural human conversations that work on audio, video, and textual content in real time and recorded files. Symbol API lets you generate real time sentiment analysis, action items, topic, trackers, summary, and much more in the applications. I would request each one of the leader to introduce themselves in like Twitter like introduction, 30 seconds, not more than that, and then we'll set the ball up and running.
Okay. Maybe I can start by introducing and we can take it forward. So my name is Anuja Das. I'm People Operations Manager and part of the HR team here at Symbol. I look after most like entire end-to-end recruitment and US and India employee life cycle. We are scaling, we are hiring, and I'll share more details about that by the end of the call. Over to you next, whosoever wants to go.
Akanksha, yeah.
Sure. Hey everyone. I'm Akanksha Vasin, Technical Community Evangelist at Symbl.ai. I work in the DevRel space, evangelizing about the product, building technical communities, and often looking after the dev acquisition space. I'm delighted to be a part of GitHub India and looking forward to your projects. I pass it on to Rishabh.
Sure. Thanks, Akansha. Hi, everyone. This is Rishabh. I am working as a full stack developer at Symbol.ai. I'm mostly working into the JS tech stack, but at Symbol, anything is possible. So, yeah, um, cool. I'll pass it to Vishal.
Yeah, thanks, Risham. So, hello everyone. This is Vishal, and also I'm working here at Symbol as a full stack developer. So, yeah, that's pretty much for mine.
Perfect. So, I saw Akanksha, you have a presentation. Would you want to start the presentation first and then explain about the project, about the organization, and then we'll take questions and keep asking you all of
Mhm.
you.
Yeah, sure. Perfect. So let's get started. So we have done with the introductions. So these are our mentors like Pema, Vishal, me, and Rishabh. And Anuja is looking after the operations and hiring stuff. Feel free to reach out to us on Slack anytime. So before getting started with the project, it's important to understand the product in details. So here we go. And these are the three projects: open source contribution, information engineer externship, and technical writer externship. Feel free to reach out to us in case you have any doubts on our Slack community or on the Discord channel of GitHub India. So now let's get started. What a conversation. What is CI? So it's a new term, it's booming in industry, and not many people are aware of it. So now let's talk about conversation intelligence. So any artificial intelligence system that can consume, understand, analyze, or reciprocate in any conversational interactions, it can be conversation intelligence. That includes virtual assistants like Alexa, Siri, Google Assistant, chatbots, advanced AIs that can automatically understand without any need to command specifically in the AGI level capabilities, which can truly think and operate on its own way in a given conversation. There's a common notion that conversation intelligence is only about chatbots. That's not true. Conversational AI is not just about technologies like chatbots and virtual assistants that users can command through. It's just a subset of you. Like virtual assistants are designed specific to a command user and respond to it. So this experience is inherently limiting. In order for an AI to help in human to human conversation, it needs to have designed to have complete access to conversation information from all the participants and ability to generalize and comprehend like humans do. So here's what where symbol comes into play, like analyzing natural human conversations. So, what is Symbol.ai? Symbol.ai is a conversation intelligence platform that enables you to add AI and ML on top of your voice, video, or text communication interfaces. Think of Symbol as one-stop shop to manage all your conversation and generate automated speech recognition, sentiments, actions, questions, custom intents, topics. There's so much more into this application without building and scaling ML in real time. We have an awesome suite of APIs and SDKs that works with the REST interface for recorded files, URLs, or even with streaming audio using WebSockets. So if you are a voice developer, you will geek out on this. And if you are not, you will be one day. And apart from that, you can also stream audio directly from your device to Symbol, use video recordings or webinars, and there's a lot to do more. And we are also domain agnostic, which means we are able to extract unbiased intelligence, unlike typical ML models that are trained only for a specific use case. This enables developers to just plug us into their apps and use it whatever use case they want. So here are the conversation intelligence capabilities. You can do speech to text transcription. You can also analyze sentiments. We have entities, ontologies, actionable insights, intents, summaries, and topic modeling as well. So before we get started, I want to share you. We also have an API playground. You can go to platform.symbol.ai and access our API playground. You can see how the whole conversation intelligence works. And apart from that, we also have our Symbol.ai postman collection. Just head over to docs.symbol.ai to get started, and you can see our public workspace, and you can do some hands-on stuff as well. So these are a suite of APIs. Or APIs are divided into these categories like async, telephony, streaming API. With one or more of these source types, you enable Symbol.ai to begin creating the process of accessing conversations. In addition to this source type, Symbol.ai Conversation API provides you access to messages, transcripts, sentiments, speaker analytics, and get personalized intents as well. So these are essentially our bread and butter of a conversation intelligence. With these APIs, developers are empowered to program their own intelligence into conversation data. In addition to both these source types and as well as the analysis of these APIs, we also have an experimental set of APIs called the labs, which enables you interact with the bleeding edge of Symbol.ai capabilities. So what you can build with Symbol.ai. So you go beyond just speech to text. You can also get topics of discussion, conversation analytics, entity and intent recognition, conversation analytics. So you can get speaker talk time ratio. There's many more things to it. So this is the bird eye view of our platform. So we have various forms of inputs that can be processed. It can be in the form of voicemail, video, audio, SMS, chat, emails, and transcript. These are further processed in the form of, it can be in the form of recorded files, audio or video. It can be in the form of streaming. It can be real time and batch processing. Here's our symbol, like it's the main brain where all those analyzing or ML models are here, and then it gets processed and you get speech recognition, we have trackers, you get analytics, we get contextual insights. So it helps you to do multiple ways. Either it can be used in real time or async coaching, getting conversation analytics, or maybe in real time tracking and getting personalized intents in the form of WebSockets, and it also has accessibility to CI powered search. So that's overall view of our platform. And trackers is something new. So trackers allows you to track the occurrence of a certain keyword or phrases in a conversation, so you can identify emerging trends and gauge the nature of interactions. You can define keywords or phrases in a tracker, and Symbol will return messages that contain the same or contextually similar phrases. So, and we also, this was our first year since we launched Hacktoberfest, since we are promoting open source, and now we are headed towards GitHub Externship as well. And we are very active on our all social media channels. Feel free to join us on Symbol.ai Slack channel. I will be also adding those links in this YouTube session as well. And apart from that, we regularly do hackathons, events, and we have a big community as well. So now I head over to questions.
Now I'll set up the questions. Hi, Pema.
Hi, Rohit.
Hi. Uh, how do, let me rephrase. What are you expecting these potential externs, and how should they impress upon you? What should they include in the project when they reach out to you? What should they not include? Anuja said something. I don't
Yeah.
want to say that right now, and she's the
Yeah,
most
of
spark.
course.
Yeah, go ahead, Anuja. You answer it. Yeah.
So, guys, we have three projects live on the platform GitHub Externship. Two are more related to technical writing, and one is open source contribution. So, let's first. I'll ask Pema to set her expectations on terms of what she's expecting from the assignment and what kind of person we are looking for both the roles. Over to you, Pema.
Yeah.
And after
So,
that, Rishabh or Vishal, Rishabh, maybe you can take it forward for open source.
yeah. Yeah, Anuja. So, with regards to these two internships, right, which is heavily focused on technical writing, one is a purely technical writing intern, right? So, having said that, we want somebody who also has knowledge of open source, working in open source kind of a environment and different projects, because obviously we want to leverage that skill which comes from this platform, right? So, our docs are completely open sourced, so we're looking at somebody who will come in and contribute towards making our documentation better. We are a complete API platform, so we need like a lot of API related tutorials and a bunch of content that we have in mind already. So one intern is purely going to be working on the content side of things, right? On the open source platform. Now, how they can impress is, so we have this assignment for them where we are going to look at specific writing skills in terms of how are they approaching a particular idea. And like we're also looking at a candidate who has understanding of REST APIs, right? So we want somebody to approach that particular part of the documentation in the assignment where we are going to judge how the candidate is able to explain different API parameters, and how do we break it down for the developer audience. So that's primarily one thing that's going to be super valuable for a technical writing intern. Now, for the other intern who is also going to be working in the capacity of the technical writing team, but is actually a slightly developer, focused role. The reason why is, right now we are looking at revamping our documentation site as such, and we have like a basic, open source, tool that we use today, and we want somebody to come in and build a React JS sort of an app on top of that, right? And for that, we do have a couple of ideas, but I think in that aspect, again, we would definitely love if somebody can come with like some really interesting ideas and say, hey, we can really build our documentation site using these kind of features, more interactiveness, anything that you feel is possible in a documentation site. We are really open to that. So again, for information developer, that's what we are calling our intern here for this. That person will also have to submit an assignment, and in that assignment we have actually combined two different skills. One is just how you build an API, because again, we are an API platform and you have to be very familiar with all the things we do with APIs. So we are asking that intern to submit an assignment where you are actually sort of building, creating an API request, and you have to also showcase your React.js skills where you're able to like actually integrate even the front end part of it. And the sky's the limit. We have some basic requirements on the assignment, but I think that's where your creativity can really come in. And I feel like really I don't want to put any like thoughts in your head about how you can go about doing it, but yes, it would be great to see some interesting ideas with regards to this internship as well. Yeah, so these were the two technical writing related assignments. So yeah.
There's one question that has come, and I'll put it out on the screen, and maybe one of you could address. Anyone can take this. And
Yeah, maybe.
Is it
Yeah,
part of that?
I can take it. So yeah, it's not at all necessary to know all the languages or frameworks specified in there. It's never necessary, right? You can't know all the technological details, and you can't know these uh, frameworks perfectly, right? There's never 100%. But yeah, it would be really great if you come up with some experience, or you actually come up with the problem solving mindset, right? So to showcase that actually those problems were specified in such a way that you can actually showcase your problem solving skills. Just try any solution for those projects, and that will actually give us some idea about your problem solving skills, right? So yeah, it's not at all necessary to know all of those, but yeah, it would be really great if you have some knowledge of those, so that you can actually get a head start over when you actually take over as an extern, right? So yeah.
Perfect. I think Akanksha, if you could just do it in like 30 seconds, 1 minute.
Which question?
This one. You'd explained.
Open
I
source
think
project one.
yeah, this would be more relevant to Rishabh. He can take it up.
Rishabh. Okay.
Yeah, I will be able to take it up. So yeah, the open source project, right, which we have there, we already have some of the repositories which are open source from Symbol side, right? We actually are looking for someone who can actually help us with maintaining those, or when we get some issues around those, or we get some people who are really interested in open source contributions, so they can actually manage um, those particular repos, and even they can maintain this, they can elaborate the functionalities and the requirements of those open source repositories, so that we can help people use those open source projects to actually build upon something, right? So when people are trying to build something using Symbol's API, they can just directly just fork that open source repositories, and they can just start building stuff, new stuff, right? And they can launch that. So that is the whole purpose of this particular project, right? So this is the main goal of this particular role. Secondly, the roles and responsibility, as already mentioned by Akansha, we will have things which are, for example, maintaining those repositories. So you should be very good with, for example, GitHub concepts, right? You should be knowing those things, that how to make a commit, how to actually write good, good production grade code, and those kind of things. So these are major requirements for this particular project. Hope it answers your question. You can actually ask any specific things which are there, right? Um, I'll be happy to answer.
And all of these mentors and leaders are there on Discord. They've been addressing all sort of queries. Maybe you could also reach out to them onto the official server. More operational question. I don't know who takes it, but maybe Anuja, the boss.
No. Okay, so will there be one extern? We are open to hire as many. You just have to perform really well and impress our reviewers, the experts of the projects, Pema, Rishabh, and Vishal, and we'll hire you. We are okay to start with an internship, like an externship project. And if you are really awesome and you are a best fit for us, we'll always go ahead and place your pre placement offer as well. So there is no limit to that. It's just that you have to perform really well in your assignments and impress our uh, project leaders. That's it.
I think this was answered by Rishabh earlier, right? Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So those will be not limited. We are actually, even trying to, get some new technologies as well. And in future, you can actually see various different roles open for people, right? But yeah, for now, these languages are not limited. But yeah, it would be great if we have, generic languages such as React JS framework for front end and Node.js framework for back end. Those kind of knowledge is really uh, a good head start for people.
More operational. How does the process flow? Yeah.
Yeah, so process flow for both the roles, both the all the three of the projects would be separate and different. Okay, I would start with open source contribution. So once you have submitted and raised the PR on GitHub, open source, we will review it and we will get back to you for the technical interview round. First would be a technical discussion, and post that we would like to let you talk to one of our team members as well, just wherein you can learn about more about the company culture, and wherein you can also understand what kind of work we would be doing and what kind of role you are expected to play, and then an HR round for that. Okay. Similarly, for tech writer positions for both the projects, we would be setting up a technical round post reviewing your assignments. Okay, it would be a 1 hour call for all the interview rounds. Post that an HR round. Okay, so it's more like submit your assignments, we'll review it, we'll have a technical round with you, very technical round, an HR round with a, and parallelly we'll try to set up some call with our team members.
Is there a specific pattern to the proposal that you're looking at? Or, I mean, that's a question that has come.
No, we are only taking assignments in consideration. The proposal is not mandatory, but if in case someone is eager to set up a proposal, they can send us. There is no specific pattern. They are free to mention anything that you want. Once they get selected, we will be forming a specific proposal according to the role.
Oh, there was one.
Yeah, I think 14 December is the deadline. There's one
Yeah,
question by Lakshya.
yeah, 14th. Yeah.
I think that question is for you, Rohit.
Yeah, more for us operationally than anything else. Yeah.
Hmm.
Uh, uh more uh so one, this has been extended to 19th. So Lakshit, 19th. Yeah. 19th is your the deadline. Uh are there any other questions?
Yeah, they can reach out to us on Discord, or Akansha can share the Slack community channel as well for us to reach out and we can answer their questions as well.
Perfect. So we're uh, social media links. We will share it with you. Uh, where to submit the proposal on the dashboard. I had uh, shared the link of their project, and it has all the details. I'll try and push that project detail again onto the screen. You go to externship.github.in, you go to their project, and then that's where you submit your assignment detail to us in a PDF format, and that's the way it'll flow. Again, I think more for Anuja than anybody else.
Yeah. So this is something I would write to Pema. What is she expecting from technical writing
Yeah,
intern?
Okay, so I think I touched upon this earlier, but again, for the benefit of people who might have joined. So again, like we are looking at somebody who has obviously very good writing skills, right? That's key to this particular assignment. Secondly, we will look at your approach to, really breaking down something like an API, right? So how do you explain how a particular API works, or like, what are the how do you ensure that the developer has all the information they need before they start using your APIs, which can have different aspects of the parameter itself, right? What are the information that's critical for a developer? So look at it from a developer. I would say put yourself in the shoes of the end user who's going to read your docs. And obviously, that is going to be a developer, and then start writing based on that. Yeah, so I would say like that's primarily the most important skill. And obviously, your English has to be good, your grammar has to be good. Obviously, uh, we would never consider someone who's not, you know adhere to the basic grammatical requirements of writing. So that's definitely going to be a big, you know, requirement. And yeah, I think that's about it.
The last word to Anuja. I think if you could quickly uh, share the process of uploading the project the way you want them to do.
Yes. So, guys, we have shared the platform link with you on the chat. Please go through it. All the projects are live. The assignment, read through the assignment carefully. All the guidelines, instructions are mentioned. Okay. For tech writing positions, you have to upload a PDF or a document, or you have to give an access to the URL, whichever document you would be creating. So just fill in that details and share with us, preferable PDF and document, because we will have direct access to it. Otherwise, any other links or anything, you would have to give us request to review it. Okay, so we would prefer PDF or documents. Okay, that is one thing. About open source, you would have an assignment where it will lead you to GitHub. You would have to raise a request, PR request, and our team would review it. We have already received a lot, and we would be reviewing post 19th, like he Rohit has mentioned. They have extended the timeline. So after 19th, we will take like at least 3 to 4 days to review the assignments, and post that we will be declaring the results, and based on that we would proceed with the technical interview rounds. We would be in touch with you over your email or your contact number, so ensure the contact details are correctly mentioned. Okay. And also, so our assignments are more like it will take you to some other tab, so please ensure you come back to GitHub platform, take a screenshot of submission, or like upload a PDF on while applying to the projects. Okay, that's very mandatory. If you fail to submit assignments, or your submissions are not relevant for the role, we would not connect with you guys, or we won't consider, like that would be a first step of rejection and filtration. Okay, so ensure to do that. Okay, and in case anything, please connect with us or over Discord, and we'll be happy to answer those questions. I think I have summarized the entire process.
Absolutely, in a super format. So thank you so much for Anuja, Akanksha, Pema, Rishabh, Vishal for joining. We look forward to working with you through the externship period. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah, thanks for
Thanks.
having us.
Thanks,
Thanks.
everyone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all the best to everyone that's applying.
Yes,
Yeah,
we look forward to talk to you. Bye.
Bye.
bye bye.
Yeah. Bye.
Hi, Gan.
Yeah,
My
hi,
name is
let me
Gan.
move a little. I think I'm
Yeah.
blurry than I am actually. I think it's better. Can
Right.
you hear me?
We can absolutely. Can you
Perfect.
hear us?
Yes, 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 totally.
My name is Rohit. Uh, Thank you for joining, Khan. Uh, the way we want to do this is request you to speak for about 10 minutes, introduce the project, what you're looking at when you seek applications, what is the kind of talent that you're looking at, talk more about the project, the process, etc. And then some questions would be asked from the viewers or the potential externs.
Right, absolutely. So, to start with, this is going to be some blockchainy stuff. I'll be talking about today. Probably second time in GitHub Externship itself. Last time it was really exciting. So, one thing which the blockchain world still is dealing with is like how to get done with it, how to do it properly, and specifically, it comes down to developers when it is about the responsibility of building those solid apps. So there are a lot of people in the world right now doing business on top of blockchain, but it's the developers who built the code. They work in the trenches all the time, and they make it happen. So the goal this time we're having, with some exciting GitHub externship candidates is to build something for the developers targeted so that they can get convenience, comfort, and capability all in their hands to build those solid blockchain apps which the world needs. Now, what are we actually trying to build here is a DevOps capability. this is the first question any developer has when he or she starts with blockchain development. For example, if I need to start a Word document, I need Microsoft Office and MS Word specifically. If I need to play a movie, I need VLC player. All things are available. I can simply click and go and set it up. But if I'm a blockchain developer, my life is miserable. So that's what we are trying to do here. We're trying to create a DevOps utility for the developers through which they can set up these environments pretty easily. They can actually get going in terms of their development very very conveniently. And this is going to be specific to permission blockchains, because public blockchains have been there for some good time and they have like a lot of utility and tools built around it, but public blockchains, they still are not armed properly. So as a developer, if we talk about to be very specific, it is going to be Hyperledger Fabric, and we are going to arm a developer with a lot of utilities on his own machine, so that he can not just set up an environment very quickly, but instantiate chain codes, test them, audit them, benchmark them on the go before going to the production. And even decision to go to production would be like a few clicks away. So this is what we are targeting to build here. Right. Yeah.
Now, thank you for explaining the project. Now, how do these potential externs impress upon you? What do you
Right,
want
so
them to include in the project?
So we had this challenge the last time as well, because blockchain was pretty much new, and people who got with us on board, they were like overwhelmed with the content we threw upon them, but they performed fantastically. But the difference between taking them in was never based upon if they know blockchain already or not, because we thought some of them might do, but it was out of the picture as soon as we start getting the application. So this time again, we would expect the individuals to know blockchain if possible, specifically the permission side of the blockchain, not like the Ethereums and the Bitcoins of the world, but yes, the Hyperledger side of the world, specifically Hyperledger Fabric if they know. And then beyond that, certain programming skills. Basic would be programming almost in any language proficiently. But if I would consider some added capability, then I would say they should know programming in JavaScript, TypeScript specifically, or a front end framework like Flutter, through which we can roll out desktop applications, or Electron.js. So these are the primary criteria. Beyond this, because this is not just going to be a one-time opportunity to work with us, we are actually interested in taking this project a very long way, considering this is a part of our main product line which Zeeve offers to the rest of the world. So we would want some of the candidates to work with us. We will prefer the candidates actually who will work with us full time, and then we'll probably take them on board, because if they are final year students, be it the graduation or the post graduation, we would love to take them on board over the journey with us.
Awesome. So
I look
now
magical,
you look like living in
Like
metaverse now.
background. I'm really liking myself here.
You're already in metaverse. Everyone wanted to understand, uh, are there particular format, how do they make the project, and how should they submit? If you could talk about the process of submitting the application.
So I'll draw a line between two aspects clearly, so that people with blockchain and without blockchain knowledge both can get comfortable, and they don't hesitate in applying. So of course, if you know blockchain, do write about the capabilities. Do write about the programming language you can use. For example, be it the scripting side, or be it the programming side in terms of front end development or the back end development. So I would say front end development is Flutter, back end development is TypeScript, JavaScript primarily. If you would want to pitch in between, you can also come in if you know shell scripting, Python, and other languages, or DevOps pipelines pretty well. Now, if you don't know blockchain at all, that's not a problem. You can come in, because this team will be a composition of all these sort of individuals who are going to excel in their own domains, and then the combined effort would achieve us this. So if you know Flutter and only Flutter, that'll do. If you know JavaScript, TypeScript only, that'll do as well. If you know blockchain DevOps only, Fabric and Kubernetes and the stuff around it, that would work as well. I would not say Kubernetes, I would say Docker here. So if you know Docker and Fabric pretty well, and setting it up and all, that works as well.
Do you have more questions for Gan? Anyone?
Yeah, more questions.
Yeah. So while there are more questions that'll come, uh, you can also connect with Ghan on Discord, the official Discord channel. Ask your questions there. Uh, Ghan, you were there last year. Okay,
Yes.
okay. I'll ask you question and then maybe summarize. Yeah.
Will there be a technical interview? Can I take this up, or you can go ahead? Sorry to interrupt.
No, no. Please take it up. Yeah.
Right. So thank you, Ashutosh. This is a very interesting question. The point here is, we want to make the most out of this externship for both the parties, you and us as well. Because specifically I said that we will not be just doing a 3 month stuff together. If you're the right guy, you're gonna get on board with us, and we'll not interview again. So that's the point. If you do well, that's the interview in itself. So initially, yes, of course, we would be willing to talk to you a lot before we decide that you are on board. And once you're on board, then if you would want, you would continue with us without any job interview at all. You are our guy then.
Awesome. More tech question for you, Ghan.
Do you want advanced level of knowledge for Flutter, TypeScript? Which level would you prefer? So, Suruchi, this is an interesting question. Flutter itself is very new. Not everybody has got like 5 years experience with it, specifically Flutter. So if you have done one project with Flutter, you did fly some aeroplanes on the screen, that will do.
If I may add, so Ghan, and maybe you could rebut it or accept it. The idea, everyone, is that you do the basic that Ghan is looking for, and then of course they work with you, enhance your experience, enhance your knowledge, and handhold you over the period of 3 months, and then work around your skills, make you better, and then maybe eventually hire you, like Ghan had said.
Yeah, and there'll be a team of experts from our side who'll be working with you, because this is a full time goal for us. This is not we would be doing it with or without you. So you can understand the sensitivity we have here. It's not just a part time project for us to participate in GitHub Externship. It's like some serious agenda we've got coming our way for 2022 as a next release of our product roadmap. And this piece would go to the primary goal is to make it open source and submit it to the Hyperledger Labs itself, and probably do a large marketing campaign around us, so that millions of developers who are using permission blockchain out there would come and use it. So you would not just learn a few things, you would become a permanent contributor to this, and apart from just joining us on our journey going forward. And that in itself is very exciting. I think this is not the platform to talk about that, but yeah, so this is that kind of an opportunity. I just missed the question.
Arpit, I mean, this is in two parts. While I submit a proposal, I've done projects only on public blockchain, and I'll. Have you read that? Have you read this, Han? There is a
Yeah,
second part.
I'm reading it. I think Arpit asked the
Okay.
question before that, so I think Arpit has written a lot of stuff. Arpit, give me some
Yeah.
seconds, I'll read it. So Arpit says, while I submit a proposal, I have done projects only on public blockchain, in which I've written smart contracts in Solidity and interaction in Web3.js and EtherJS. So is that good, or I should do a project on Hyperledger and then submit? So I don't think you have time enough to do a project on Hyperledger and then submit a proposal. But if you have done enough on public blockchains, I would understand that you will understand, the developer tool sets or DevOps tool chains you would require. So I believe you have a good understanding of what you need as a developer. But yeah, the stack will change entirely when you would come on board for Hyperledger Fabric, because it's very different, more complex, and precisely to be set 20 times this and that, comparing Ethereum or Solidity. And there are no tool sets available, so that we cannot just simply pick something out there and start doing on top of it. We would be doing it from scratch. So yes, there'll be troubles, there'll be challenges your way, and that may be a kind of a situation which would put you in a spot where somebody could be better than you. Then Aman says, do you have any proposal format? Sorry, Rohit, I'm stealing all the thunder.
Oh yeah. You're making my life easy.
So Aman, from the proposal format point of view, Give me a sec. Let me plug my charger. My battery is dying. So proposal format point of view, we don't have any specific format. The only thing we would want you to do is like do a showcase of your capability, your passion, and your excitement about what you can do in these programming languages or have done in the past. So if you're going to put out Flutter there, maybe share some links or some screenshots or some info about if you cannot share the others on the project you've done, the complexity of it. If you know Fabric as a protocol, then write about what you've done in it. So we just want to know the capability you have. Like I said in the beginning, we cannot judge you based upon that you know it all. You cannot. So we would judge you based upon what you are willing to know and what you've done in your past and how relevant close it is to what we are trying to do ahead in a few months. Kushal Tanna, sorry if I spoke your name wrong. You're asking what you expect in project proposal. I know Python, JS, React, and Node.js Express. So I would say the stack does not fit very, very appropriately or directly. We might require a lot of TypeScript knowledge, which you understand knowing JavaScript, what kind of variant it is. But Node.js, which is the good part, but Express is something which we might not be doing. We would be doing a lot of backend stuff, more or less, because this is going to be a desktop application daemon or service. So we might not be doing a web version of it at all. So I think you understand the difference between the tech stack you have and the stack required for this. But yes, if you know JavaScript pretty well and you have the knack for it, do jump in. Over to you, Rohit. Sorry.
No problem. No. Thank you so much. Uh, Anything that they should particularly include in the project to impress Ghan and land up externship opportunity with Zeeve?
So I'm easily impressed by almost anybody. Yeah, you don't have to do much to do that. Just write what you're good at, be genuine. Don't try to take it to another level just because you want to. Be yourself. If your English is not good, that's all right, because we need good logical minds. We don't need good speakers at all. I was very bad in my time. So just be good at what you do and just express that. How to send you the proposal? I think Rohit can
Uh,
answer that.
yeah, so the project detail, externship.github.in will have the Zeeve project listed, and that's where you go and submit in the format that they've asked for. Does that answer your question, Arya? Okay, we'll wait to hear from her. Uh,
I'm wondering if somebody is here from NIT Warangal. No. So one more input, before the next question comes in, that we're opening a new facility, in Hills. How Zeeve is pronounced? I think I said it like many a times. Zeeve is pronounced like Zeeve. I said it
Zeeve.
right away. Yeah, so we are opening a new office in Dehradun, in Hills, because our team wanted to go chill out somewhere, someplace good. They don't want to be in higher AQI pollution cities. So we just picked Dehradun, and that's a nice place we're opening up. So if you're from Dehradun or nearby cities, or you would want to be there full time with us from January, you would love the place, and we would love your presence as well. So if you're thinking something like that, do come in, because we are looking for full time candidates as much as possible.
Wow. And Dehradun is a fantastic place to be in. Grab this opportunity potentially. Anything else that you want to ask, Ghan?
Sorry, can't find any button or link to submit.
We'll quickly reach out to you, Arya. The team would.
Yeah, Arya, I rather also not find any button here. It's only leave studio, cam, mic, mute, or share screen.
No.
Any project for
I think
competitive programmers. So if you
maybe
are not,
not. Go
yeah.
ahead.
No, I think Rohit, you can take it up first, because I don't know if this
I
comes
thought
beyond this.
I had more cliched answer to it, saying not at this forum. This forum is only about
Yes.
GitHub Externship and
Yep.
about the project of Zeeve today. We will address this as we go along.
Right. So Aman,
Aman has
it's not Flutter centric, because Flutter is just one such component which would play a role. We might still decide to go TypeScript and Electron completely and may not use Flutter at all. But this would be a composition of multiple stuff. Flutter is growing pretty fast, and they have rolled up a complete package through which you can do native desktop applications as well. So yes, of course, our idea will be to use the most advanced frameworks and capabilities of them. But yes, if you know JS well, TypeScript well, you can come in for sure.
My last parting question, Khan, you're a veteran because you've been there from the start of externship. How was your experience from the talent point of view that you had got last year, and what are you looking at this year? And there's a question that you might want to answer before you do that.
My
Address my
apologies, but question gets the priority, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So
We're only for them today.
yes. Menak, the thing you kind of guessed it right. We would be launching a daemon with certain CLI capabilities because we are working with a European telecom company as of now. They're one of our customers, and we could understand from them, or the experience with them is that the capabilities to add CI/CD pipelines to a blockchain environment is a very critical component. So yes, of course, we would be doing a daemon with certain CLI capabilities. So that's why shell, C shell, K shell, those kind of things may come in. Yes, so being a veteran, what happened last time? So the candidates were really awesome. We wanted to spend more time with them, but that's why I'm kind of reiterating it again and again today that we're looking for people who are in their final years or their graduation and post graduation, because we want them to continue with us, because the tenure 3 months is like slightly less in terms of the moment you get warmer, you get excited about knowing more and more into the technology. Blockchain is huge, so it gets over and you feel like, oh, you're not there, you want to continue. So we want people who can continue and are not going to take their excitement back in their bags back home. They can simply continue and enjoy the journey forward. Manak, yeah, it's a go.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a go for sure.
Anything else that you want to ask, Gan?
Yeah,
You can, of course, connect
maybe.
with him on Discord as well. But
Yeah,
now that he's here, are there any other question that you might have for him?
we still have 6 minutes
Yeah,
to exploit me. Yeah, no questions.
any questions. Yeah.
One interesting question, I would expected the audience to ask today is that, because I talked sensitively and consistently about 30-year students can apply. We don't mind exceptional people, right? Nobody can say no to exceptional people, regardless of where you are, what year you belong to, what city you are in, what do you eat. You're exceptional. You're in. So one question, which must excite you further is that, Apple has recently launched newer generation of laptops. Now I'm wondering, those laptops, they do not have Intel chips anymore. So this job is not about creating cross OS applications, but cross chip application, because it has to be a desktop app. So you have to be M1 compatible, and M2 might have come around later this year. So we'll be thinking exciting stuff around ARM compatibility too, because M1 is not Intel architecture, it's ARM architecture. So yes, of course, those things we'll also touch upon during this journey, which is very unknown and unseen and exciting stuff, because until date we have only programmed desktop applications for Intel architectures, AMD, Intel. That's it. Never ARM. Desktops were never ARM. This is the first time we're going to do it in the history of mankind.
Last word. Anything that you want to add when you look at the applications, when you look at these externs? I think we've already spoken about it, but maybe a quick recap would help.
Yes, so this opportunity, like last year, I would say that this is for exceptional people. People who want to do different, who don't want to just simply get into a job later on and then do some programming in some services companies and all. This is for people who are different, who do not target money or a job in the end. They target satisfaction. That's how we created Zeeve as an idea in the beginning. We people were like different, so we want different people to come in, and more copies and clones of us, so that the world will be a different place tomorrow, full of you versions, not they versions. They are like different. You are a class apart, a cut above.
Nice way to put it. Anything else before we let him go?
So we would love to see as many applications as possible, and then to join hands with some of the really amazing ones. So you don't think you cannot do it, because you'll not know until you apply. So do apply, and uh, it is work from home as well, so you don't have to come all the way to Dehradun. That's not the mandate here. But yeah, it's a vacation if you come there, for certain. That's I can promise.
Just that I'm not the tech person, otherwise I would have applied. Dehradun is
No,
a
you're
place to
welcome anyways.
Dehradun is a place to be in. Thank you, Ghan, for your. Okay, just a moment. You have some time.
Thank you, Unnat. Yeah, whatever excites anybody is like my excitement back. That's a feedback loop. You circle around, you don't pass, you circle around.
Yeah.
All right. I think this is goodbye from me then. My time is
Sure.
up.
Thank you so much, Ghan. Thank you for your time today. Look forward to
Thank
work.
you everybody for bearing with me. And Rohit, you've been amazing host.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Bye. We have 2 more minutes before the next project owner, project mentor joins. Y- Maybe a lot of you will have this question. You can apply up to 4 projects. Vishal? I want to also make an announcement before the next project owner comes. Some of the applications that we're currently receiving are not complete. I would request you to fill in all the details that we've asked for, especially the college that you are from, the institute that you are from, uh, the email ID, the verification, and the project report the way these project owners have asked for. So our next guest is here. I am adding him to the stream, and then we'll set everything up. Hi, Pranay.
Hey Rohit, can you hear me well?
I can. Can you hear us?
Yep.
Thank you so much for your time.
Are we live?
We are.
Oh, okay, cool.
This is more impromptu. This is more. So I would, set up the conversation by requesting you to introduce yourself and the organization to begin with, and then more operational questions as to what the project is, what are you expecting from these externs before we open it for the Q&A.
Okay, cool. Like how detailed should I go? Like should I explain or
You
can
have
I walk through the
you have,
GitHub repo?
you have 30 minutes. You
Okay.
have lot of time. I think as detailed as you can do.
Okay, cool. So, hey folks, I am Pranay. I am one of the co-founders at SigNoz. Uh, so, quick background about myself. I'm engineer by training. Did my engineering from IIT Madras. Worked in software engineering, working hardcore biometric algorithms, machine learning problems, and post that worked at Microsoft in their product management team. And yeah, we recently started this project, SigNoz, um, and made started working on this in September 2020, made the project live in February this year, and seeing very good interest from the developer community as such. So in around 9 months of our launch, we have 5,300 GitHub stars or more, 400 members on our Slack community. So yeah, that's broadly about me. I'll I'll take you through a brief intro of like what SigNoz is and what SigNoz does. Maybe that would give you a good idea on the project itself and like the type of problems we are working on. Cool. So can I share my screen, Rohit?
Absolutely.
Cool. One sec. Let me figure it out.
You have buttons on the bottom, share, and then just.
Yes. Okay.
Meanwhile, everyone, I've shared more about SigNoz, more about Pranay, and about their project details in the chat column. I'll add to the stream.
Can you see the website?
We can see the website.
Okay, one second. I think I need to share it in a better way. Tuck, tuck. Can you see the website now?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Cool. So at SigNoz, we are building an open source APM. So APM primarily stands for Application Performance Monitoring. It's a type of product which developers and DevOps engineers use to monitor their applications once they have deployed it on the cloud. So things like once you have deployed in the cloud, how is the latency? Is your application working fine? How much error is it giving? So things like that. I'll take you through the product itself also in a bit more detail, but just broadly around that. And broadly, the vision to start this product and the project is to build something which is in open source and solves this problem, because there are few products out there which are solving this problem, but there are like no good open source alternatives for this problem. And as developers ourselves, we fundamentally believe that open source is a much better way to go about things, just in terms of like the community you get around it. So if you're using a open source project, you have a community which supports you. You can ask questions there. You can open GitHub issues. And as you may be seeing with our project, right, we have a public Slack community where you can come and ask questions. You can raise issues in GitHub. You can, if you like the project, you can also work on it. So that's the power of open source. And seeing this like maybe 10 years down the line, we fundamentally believe that more and more products should have an open source alternative, especially for products like us, which have developers and as their end users, because it's just fundamentally a much better experience, right? So that's our interest on like why we went open source. And one of the second key themes which we have is that, hey, like India is a country which has like third largest number of developers in the world, but our contribution in terms of like open source and even hardcore infra products, right, is very few. So as a product ourselves, we are a very like infrastructure related and like developer focused product. And as of now, like there are not many products like this which are coming out of India. There are some good leaders there like Postman and Hashura, but I think we can do much more here given the amount of developers we have and the number of new talent which is coming in, right? So even for you folks who are in colleges, I think it would be a great opportunity for you if you start thinking about how you can contribute in open source, because one, you get to learn about what like the top products in this domain are working on, and second, you also get to like directly chat with the maintainers who work on this, right? So that would be like you don't get that level of access like working in a small company or like in any closed source company. So for all the like participants in the audience who are in maybe third year or final year of their college, highly encourage you to look into contributing to open source. Uh, one of like we are one such project. We are actively involved in like involving the community around it, and we think that India should have just more open source projects, more developers, tools coming out of it, and like making a dent in the world, right? So that's where we are. In terms of the technical architecture, I'll just share quickly around that. So you can just go to our website, SigNoz.io, go to docs, and then if you go to technical architecture, so this is the sort of technical architecture we have. We use something called open telemetry as the instrumentation layer. So if you see broadly, what do we do, right? We have applications which send data to us, and then these applications send this data to SigNoz. So basically, this component is the SigNoz. So they send it to us. We store in a data store. So currently, we use ClickHouse as a data store. Then we have a backend service in Go, which reads to this, and basically the front end which talks to the backend service and shows you all the data, right? So it's a very sort of deep tech like product where you have to optimize what you are putting into the database, how performant are the queries here. So in that sense, if anybody who is interested in working in slightly level deeper technologies like understanding how storage engines work, how you can make more performant Go queries, how you can show large amount of data from front end, uh, this might be a good project for you to like look into, right? uh, I'll take a minute pause and see if like there are any questions, or like how do we do that, Rohit? Do we take questions in between, or we
You can,
like
absolutely.
okay? So if there are any questions, I'll just wait for a minute.
I put it on the screen, Pranay. Would be great if you could throw more details on project number one, creating workflows on Cygnus.
Okay.
That's one. Maybe you should talk about all the project, and maybe that's more about the skills that you're looking at.
Okay, got it. Yeah, let me just first give a quick demo on the project. Maybe that would also help people get some context, and then I will dive deeper into like the specific projects which we have put in the GitHub Externship. So can you guys see my screen?
Yes, I'll give you the full screen access.
Cool. So is the screen full screen now?
Yes, Pranay. Full screen.
Cool. So this is just a quick overview of the product itself. So this is how the dashboard looks once you like install SigNoz and then start sending data to us. So these are the different services and this different applications which users have instrumented. Basically, they have included a bit of the code in their code, and then they start sending data to us. So these are different applications. It shows you different metrics like latency, basically how slow or fast are these applications, how much error rate is it saying, what's the requests, etc. Then I can go deeper into it and then see like different application metrics. So how much is the latency here? You can see request per second, individual endpoints. You can go from here to view individual traces. So basically here we are trying to figure out that, hey, if some application is taking more time, what may be causing it, right? So you see different services, you can filter them, and below you see different spans here. So different type of, so these are basically, this basically shows you the complete request across the architecture, right? So once a request comes to the service, it goes through different services, right? So here we're just trying to show if a request comes, where all it's going, right? And then here you can see the detailed view of that, like where it's taking time. So right, so our users use this to understand where it is taking more time, where could be possible bottlenecks, and then you can go to very details, like you can even go down to things like exact SQL query which you are seeing here. So you can go to like find out which is the exact SQL query which user is using, and maybe this could be the cause of the problem, right? So this is like one of the main flows where like you go from metrics, and then you want to debug a particular trace, and then you go from here, and then you go to see the different traces and figure out what's wrong, and then hopefully solve it, right? The other thing is basically we enable people to create dashboards. So these dashboards are you can create these dashboards for different metrics. So you go to new dashboard, you create a widget, go to time series. Here you can use different, like try to plot different type of metrics which are there. So more details on what metrics are available are in our docs, but for example, one of such metrics is system CPU load, which tells you the amount of load the system is in. So, right, so you plot this metric, and basically you are monitoring this now, and then you can start to see how is the load varying. So basically any developer or DevOps engineer can use this graph to see how the load is varying across time. If it's becoming high, he can try to investigate why it's varying, and then he can use like different time scales to understand how things are going. For example, you can see last 1 day, you can try to see last 15 minutes. All right, so as you see, lots of details are involved here. And then you can also set alerts on top of this metrics. I'll not go into more details, but you can just start creating alerts. So if, for example, one of the services which you see crosses a certain threshold, for example, you can set an alert that if this metrics goes above 0.5, then we'll throw an alert, right? And then you can configure your Slack channel here, and then add a Slack channel here to configure, right? So I'm just giving you this idea so that you have more ideas on like what this product can do and how you can sort of build more things on top of it. So this here you are just creating a Slack channel, and then so that if any alert comes, we can start sending alerts here. So the idea is that any team can monitor their applications. They don't need to come to the dashboard all the time, and then they can get the alerts directly in the Slack channel and sort of start working on that, right? So that's broadly the product. I think there's a lot more details, but I would not go more into it. You can feel free to like join us Slack channel and ask more questions. But broadly, you can use our product to understand how your applications are performing, how your customers are seeing your applications. Are they seeing it slow, fast? Are errors happening? And then how you can solve it to how you can solve these problems they are seeing, right? So yeah, that's there. I think.
Thank you. We'll take one or two questions that had come. I want you to just kind of address this.
I have finished my UI UX Google course. I have completed few projects in React.js and Node.js. How can I fit in, and what will be my roles and responsibilities? Okay, so let me share the projects which we have shared on the GitHub in the externship. That would be good, I think. So the few projects which you have shared. So our stack is React.js plus TypeScript. a few projects we have shared. One is sort of creating workflows on top of SigNoz. So if you have any ideas on how you can build on something on top of SigNoz, right? So for example, when okay, I think I am not sharing my screen. Let me just. Can you guys see my screen now?
It
Yes.
had come. It had come, but it has withered away.
Okay.
I think, yeah.
Okay, one sec.
Yeah.
Is it visible now?
It's there. Yeah.
Cool. Creating workflows on top of SigNoz. So as you saw the product demo, right? So here, most of the things are like on top of dashboards. So you need to know which dashboards you need to look into and go from there, right? So you need to know, okay, this is the dashboard I need to look into. This is the work. This is where I can look into, right? So rather than that, one sort of thing which people can build on top of it, like, and we want to enable is that can we create a tab here like called workflows, and there we can set up that, hey, like if any alerts come, right? For example, somebody has set up that if this metrics goes above 0.5, then I want to set an alert, right? So somebody sees an alert, then he goes here, and so he has to see an workflow here where he just clicks this. He should be able to take in the exact dashboard or like exact panel which has that metrics. For example, an alert came for system CPU load being very high. Just click that here, take them to the corresponding dashboard directly. No need to like go through different dashboards, and then show them what's the point here. And then from here itself, take them to, for example, the traces page, right? And try to see where it's the problem is, right? For example, one of the workflows which we have built is this. So in this front end app, you can go from here to view traces, and from here you see the traces which are the cause of the problem, and then you go directly to the points where the latency is high or which is taking a lot more time, right? What externs or like people who are maybe joining the project can do is create a workflow tab here and create more such workflows which take directly from alerts to the exact metric tab and then to the traces tab, right? So that's broadly what we have in mind, and we are excited to like look into like what people also propose. I guess you would need some amount of understanding of the product and the domain also. So maybe explore the product a bit more, you'll get more sense. So on like what can we build, and maybe check out a few application monitoring products. Some of the for example, some of the SaaS products are Datadog and Neuralink. So if you're interested in this particular project, check those projects and see like what ideas can we borrow from there to implement on SigNoz. So that's broadly what we have in mind. It's not like very concrete yet, but happy to learn more like what you guys can like come up with.
Pranay, while more questions are coming in, I want you to address what are your expectations when these young externs try and make that proposal and impress upon you? 3 things they should include, 3 things they should not be including.
Sure. So I think one thing which we are looking for is the clarity in the proposal. If, for example, we have laid down 4 projects, right? If you can get into more details on how you want to implement it, that would be good, because that would give us a sense that, hey, this person has really thought about it. So that would be something which we will evaluate the proposal on. Would be good if you share what past experience you have on this, so that we understand how much skills or like you previous experience you have on like executing such projects. And maybe third would be like, why specifically our project, right? Like what interested about you about our project, and like what's your motivation to address this, right? So these are the three key things which are looking for: clarity of thought and details of the proposal. Second is like your past experience, have you worked on something like this before? And third is like what interested you about the project, why this particular project in specific, right? Three things which we don't need. We don't care where, like which college or what your current degree is. So we'll evaluate primarily on the project itself. So that's the main thing. Yeah, I think I don't recall anything which you should not include. So if you include these three things, it's fine, basically.
It's okay. Any other question that you all have for Pranay? One or two operational questions that have come in the past, and I mean, I thought I'll just quickly ask. This is remote working, right?
Yeah, it's remote.
100%.
Yeah.
Other expected time that you want them to, while we have defined as 25 to 30 hours a week, do you think that's enough? You want them to work for more, less?
No, I think that should be fine. I understand that these are also students, so they have also coursework with them. So 25 to 30 hours seems good. Uh, yeah, I don't think we would have any problem with that. So that should be fine. And I think if you want to, so if you want have any specific questions, I just want to give out some pointers. If you have any more questions, you can go to our Slack channel. Like we have a public Slack. You can go to our. Okay, let me share this. Tuck.
Pranay, there's one operational question.
Huh.
So once they send out the project to you,
Huh.
then how does the step two happen? Do you engage with them one on one? You take a interview? How does that process work?
Yeah. So once we get the proposals, we'll see like which are the proposals which are looking exciting, and we want to chat with the person. And I think it would be once like 30 minutes sort of Zoom call, primarily trying to understand more on like what they were proposing, and also sort of get to know the candidates. So the proposals which have been sent, we'll shortlist a few candidates based on what like the proposals which you like, and then I guess it would be just a 30-minute Zoom call with one of the members in our team, and post that we should be able to like let you know that like whether we can offer a position or not.
You had some pointers to share that you.
Oh yeah, if you have any operational questions, you can just ask me. I can handle.
You'll keep popping in, and I'll keep
Okay.
asking me. You can keep the
Okay, sure.
engagement.
Sure. Tuck. Can you guys see my screen? Rohit, if you can confirm, that would be great.
Yes, absolutely. You're there.
Okay, cool. So just wanted to share some resources with you where you can like. So this is our Slack link. If you go here, you will be taken to our like community Slack. I think it opened a new browser, but yeah. One sec. Yeah, so this is the screen. Like here's the community, and you can ask questions on contributing feedback front end based on like which areas you are interested in. I already see some people are chiming in and asking questions. So here we have our engineers active, and then they can help you out here. Or you can ask your questions on GitHub discussions. So just go to our repo, go to discussions. This is the GitHub discussions tab which I've created for GitHub Externship. So any questions you have, we can just start writing here, and one of the members of our team will try to monitor it, right? more information on terms of like docs. So here are the docs. So if you need any information on like the architecture, so we are an open source project, so you can also try to run this yourself. So you can just should be good with getting started, and then get a feel of the product if you want. Yeah, so Slack community, docs, and then the discussion forums, right? These are the three. Like we'll be active on the Slack community and the discussions forum, and if you have any questions, just pop in there and we'll be happy to answer.
Sure. Any other question for Pranay? You can ask very quickly.
Yeah, I think we are almost on time. It's good.
We're almost on time. Yeah.
Cool. I think if there are no more questions, we are available on Slack and our GitHub discussions. So happy to take more questions there. And looking forward to more proposal from you guys. Excited to see what you can build on top of SigNoz. So yeah.
Looks like there are no more questions. Thank you, Pranay, for your time.
Cool.
And we look forward to work with you during the journey of externship.
Cool, Rohit. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for organizing this. And all the best, everyone. Hope you have
Sure.
like good
Thank you.
weekend. Bye-bye.
Right. Let's wait for 2 more minutes. We have a last project of the day. I'll put the project details into the chat. You can understand more about the project.
Hello? Hopefully you can hear me.
Sorry, I can. Can you hear me now?
Oh yeah, sure can.
Good evening from India. Yeah. Thank you so much
Okay.
for joining.
Yeah, no problem.
Hi, everyone. I have Connor Hicks. He's the founder of Suborbital Software System. It's a software company dedicated to creating a new form of cloud computing using WebAssembly, young technology that is capable of changing how we build cloud applications. Connor, the way we are doing these AMA sessions uh, is where you introduce the project, the organization, yourself, and then talk about what are your expectations when these young externs try and impress upon you while they build on to the project, and then we'll take some questions from the audience and then
Sure, sounds good. So Suborbital, like it was already mentioned, it's all about using WebAssembly to build new forms of cloud computing. And the reason that we think this is an important problem to solve is that containers, as they exist today, running in Kubernetes or powering microservices, we don't think that they are the best solution to running functions like serverless functions. And since serverless functions have become so much more popular in the last couple of years, we think it's actually time for the technology to catch up to the use case. And the use case of serverless functions is running very fast, very small, and very efficient little executions of code, whereas a container is much more well suited to running long processes and running really heavy workloads. And we think that by adopting a new type of technology to power serverless functions, we can greatly improve the experience for the developers and also improve the efficiency of systems of all kinds. And so Suborbital is an open source company. We do the majority of our work in open source. We very much enjoy, powering new experiences in the cloud. We enjoy building distributed systems. We enjoy writing Go, and we like to essentially offer as much as we possibly can to the open source community, because WebAssembly is a young and unproven technology, and we want the industry to learn, hopefully from us, how powerful it can be. And it's really important to us that the work we do is open source so that everybody can benefit from it, and we can help the industry move towards this really great technology. As for me, I come from a computer science background. I'm Canadian. I have lived in Ottawa, Canada, my whole life. You can see the it's on this side, the Ottawa sign back there. I went to university for computer science. I actually specialized in mobile development. I started my career as an iOS developer, but I quickly decided that that wasn't my strong suit or my desired path, and so I switched over to working on platform teams, specifically at 1Password. You may be familiar with 1Password. It's a very popular password management platform, and I spent almost 6 years there after university, working first on the iOS team, but then quickly moved over to the platform team, learning how to build large-scale web services, automation, security design, cryptography. And while I was working there, I learned so much about building teams and designing secure software, designing high-performance software, and developing enterprise software specifically. I spent the majority of my time building features and products for 1Password's enterprise customers. And then I started working on open source projects related to WebAssembly, in the last year or so that I worked there, and eventually decided that I wanted to dedicate all of my effort towards those open source projects, which is when I decided to leave and start the Suborbital company as it is today. So we are currently a team of 6 people. We've been working really hard to build a mature and powerful platform for running WebAssembly in the cloud. And one of the most important aspects of what we're building is the developer experience, which is, what does it mean for a developer to interact with Suborbital's open source projects and products? And that all starts with our CLI. And that's what I decided to focus on when we decided to sign up for the externship program, because the CLI is almost like the first line. It's the first thing that developers interact with when they're using Suborbital. Our CLI does everything from building WebAssembly modules from your source code. It can deploy our services to the cloud. It can manage your projects. It can make it easier to administer large projects. And it has a ton of conveniences and automations that makes it easier for developers to get started with WebAssembly build powerful WebAssembly projects and then deploy those projects to the cloud. And so with our CLI and the externship, we are hoping to find some bright young students to help us with that developer experience and the CLI in particular, because we think it's a really great entry point into the world of WebAssembly and into the world of Suborbital, because it's a project that allows you to very quickly learn how the developer workflow behaves, and it will hopefully give the students of the externship program the opportunity to build features of a product that is used directly by developers every day. And we're really excited to bring on a couple of people so that we can start addressing some of the feedback from our users. Our team is very small, and we don't have the bandwidth to address every single feature request and every single bug report and question from every single person using our software. And so I really want to find the opportunity to build some features that have been requested by our community that we just haven't had the time or the bandwidth to address. And so there are some very significant new features that I would love to see an extern student build. And as for applying to do the externship with us, I think we do things a little differently than some of the other teams, where we don't necessarily want you to pitch us a particular project or a particular idea. You're welcome to, don't get me wrong, you're welcome to pitch us a specific idea, but what we're far more interested in is learning what gets you excited about cloud native, about WebAssembly, about Go, and about the technologies that we are building here at Suborbital. And so when you apply, I would highly recommend that you try to highlight your desire to learn about cloud native, and if possible, show off some former command line tool projects that you have built in the past. It's not a requirement that you've done so, but it really shows us the approaches that you take and the way that you think about building software. And there's no WebAssembly or cloud native experience required, because we can teach you all of that. There's not even Go experience required, because Go is a fairly simple language, and we can help you learn that too. I care more about learning about you and what gets you excited about Suborbital and what we're building.
Thank you, Connor. Thank you for this introduction and setting up the context. There are one or two operational questions that have been coming, and I want you to address those first.
Sure.
Is there a while from a GitHub externship standpoint, we've defined about 25 to 30 hours a week for the selected externs.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's enough for your organization? Do you want them to work for more? That's one. B, you're in Canada, we're in India. Almost 12 to 15 hours of gap. How do we tackle that?
Yeah, so I think 20 to 30 hours is plenty, especially over the time period that the externship is running. I think what we're really good at is finding projects that fit, with our external contributors' time commitment availabilities. We have a ton of open source contributors who aren't part of our company, who just think what we're building is cool, and so they come in and help us. And so we try our best to match anybody interested in contributing with a project that fits their timeline. And so I think we've gotten pretty good at that. And as for the time zones, it's actually not as much of a problem as you might think, because I'm in Canada, but we are a fully remote and distributed company. And so we have employees all over. I mean, there's only 6 of us, but we have some employees in North America, we have some employees in Europe, and we actually have an employee in India as well. And so there's plenty of people to help out at different times of the day, no matter where you are. And so I think we'll be able to support you pretty easily.
Again, one more operational question. Is there a number of extern that you have, uh, uh, not selected, that you have an eye on? How many
Yeah.
extern are you looking at?
Yeah, we're hoping to bring on 2 or 3 for our team, and the reason is that we are a small team. There's only 6 of us, and so we don't think bringing on more than 2 or 3 is fair to the students, because we want to make sure that everybody we bring on gets the the help and the support that they need to learn and be effective during the time.
There's a question on the screen. Ashutosh asks.
In the project evaluation criteria, it says that describe a CLI tool that you've built in the past, but I haven't built any. Will it affect my chances? No, I want to stress that we can teach you all of this stuff, and if you've written any kind of software before, command line tools themselves are not hard to figure out how to build. They are a fairly simple type of program. It's honestly a lot less complicated than like a web app, for example. So if you haven't built a CLI in the past, it won't affect your chances. It's more so just one of the things that we're interested in learning about you. So if you haven't built CLI before, just show us other things you have built and help us get to know you a little better.
One more. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
How difficult is it to get familiar with the current tool if we are just starting out WebAssembly? Well, I hope it's very easy. That's one of our main goals with the CLI tool, is to make it very easy for someone who's never used WebAssembly before to get acquainted with the technology. And in addition to that, if you visit our blog, blog.suborbital.dev, you'll find a number of tutorials related to WebAssembly, and they usually utilize our CLI to do the building. And so you can use that as a resource if you are unfamiliar with WebAssembly and you want to learn. I created a CLI application using Python, but I'm not familiar with Go. So would that be okay? Yeah, absolutely. Go, like I said, is a fairly simple language to learn, and I love teaching people how to use Go because I think it's the best programming language. Don't get mad at me. I know everybody has their own opinion about that, but I personally, my favorite is Go, and so we're more than happy to help you learn Go. It's a very cool language, but it is also very easy to get started with, and there's some tutorials that could probably help you get up and running in a couple of hours. It's not a difficult language to learn. I have built a very basic CLI project, so will that work? Yeah, absolutely. I doesn't matter the complexity of it. Honestly, the CLI currently, it's not that complicated. Our CLI tool, it has a couple of parts to it that are fairly involved, but the CLI, we try to make it as simple to understand, both from the user's perspective and also from the developer's perspective, because we really want it to be easy for open source contributors and students like yourselves to be able to contribute. So we try our best to keep the code base as easy to understand as possible. I'm quite familiar with Rust, but not Go. Will that be plus? Yeah,
Sure.
Rust.
Yeah.
Rust is great. Rust is one of the main languages that supports WebAssembly. And so a lot of our example code and a lot of our users are very familiar with Rust. So our projects are actually, like the actual command line tool itself is written in Go. However, a lot of the code that we are compiling to WebAssembly is written in Rust. So knowing Rust is, definitely a good thing to have.
Are there any other?
Hmm?
There's one more.
I've worked with JS, but still haven't tried TS on a significant project. Yeah, we don't have a ton of TypeScript in our code. There is a programming language called AssemblyScript, which is essentially TypeScript but designed for WebAssembly. And that is one of the languages that we support, and it's one of the languages that our CLI can build. But definitely not a requirement. The majority of the work for this externship will be done in Go. And like I said, we're more than happy to help you learn. Proposal, do we have to give idea of a new feature? You are more than welcome to pitch a new feature, but I think at the beginning of the externship, we will probably meet and help you find a project on the CLI that is interesting to you. So you're absolutely more than welcome, and I would encourage everyone who's interested in applying to at least download the Suborbital CLI and give it a try and experiment with it a little bit so that you're familiar with what it is you'd be working on. And if you have an idea for a feature that you'd like to work on or that you think the CLI should have, by all means pitch it to us, but it's not required. We're trying to be easy and flexible, in case you can't tell.
Right. And this is the question that has come for every project owner, project mentor. So you get projects, and then you assess, and then what happens? You will interview, your team would interview them and then take it forward. How does that process follow? A process go after you've received the project proposals?
Yeah, absolutely. So I would be very likely, you'll have an interview with me. I'm the one organizing this from our side, and then we'll possibly have you talk to one of the other members of the team as well. We'll probably honestly do that in one call. There's no reason why we need to do more than one call, where we'll just learn a little bit more about you, and maybe get some details from some of the projects that you've worked on, whether they're CLIs or not. We just want to see what kinds of things you have worked on in the past, and mostly we'll talk about what you're interested in learning and what you are interested in pursuing as a developer, because everybody has different interests and everybody has different technologies and parts of the industry that they are interested in, and so we mainly just want to learn more about that. Is there any kind of Go CLI framework used in the project? Yes, we do use Cobra. We use the Cobra framework for our CLI.
Cool, perfect. Are there any other questions? Otherwise, we can quickly wrap it up. Like Connor said, and like everyone has said, while you apply, do a bit of research before you write down the project report, and you only have one chance to impress leaders like Connor. So do give your best to bit awesome research before you start writing and drafting the proposals. And Connor, if they want to be in touch with you, are you there on the Discord link? How can these guys reach out to you and ask questions if they have more questions?
Yeah, so you can certainly join the Suborbital Discord if you just type chat.suborbital.dev into your web browser. That will redirect you into our Discord right away, so you can join. And we have an externship channel, and you're welcome to pop in there and ask any questions that you might have. myself and the rest of the team are all there to answer questions.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you, Connor, for your time. I know it's very early for you to. Thank you, everyone, for joining this special session. We look forward to interact with both the mentors and you more often than this. Thank you, everyone. Good night from India. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.